is this. Remember, failure does not have to be fatal. You know, we mentioned how Peter, he failed. Peter failed. But failure does not have to be fatal. You know, one of the things that we often struggle with is that we really think when we fail that we just give up. Just give up. You know, something that often gets said is when we fail, we start to become discouraged. And then we start asking questions that the enemy wants us to ask ourselves, like, why do I even try? I'm just going to fail again. I'm just going to fail again. But you know, in the story, Peter's failure didn't end in a fatality. I mean, that pretty much ruins the story. I mean, think about it. If it reads this way, and Peter looked at the wind and he started to sink, and just as he was getting ready to call Jesus' name, he drowned. He sank to the bottom of the Sea of Galilee. And Jesus finally got to the boat, and he looked at the 11 that were left and said, well, aren't you guys glad you didn't get out there? The end. I mean, that pretty much ruins the story, doesn't it, if Peter dies? Yeah, I mean, pretty much, you know, it's pretty much like, wow, you know? But that's not what happened. You know, Peter's failure didn't end up in his fatality. It was a learning experience. It was a growing experience. And the Lord helped him and sustained him. And Peter would end up experiencing incredible victories in his life because this one failure didn't end up being a fatality. And if you look at Peter's life, he would have several other failures. You know, Pastor Wade talked about it. You know, he failed God when he basically, you know, usurped his authority and said, I won't let you die, you know, that sort of thing. He was told, Satan, get behind me. He failed God when he says, I will never deny you, and he did it 3 times. And you can see these kind of failures stacking up, and yet neither of those failures ever ended up becoming a fatality to Peter. He didn't die that way. He didn't die that way. And so when we fail, it's not the end of the world. It just gives us an opportunity to experience greater victories, but we have to yield to Christ. You have to yield to Christ. All right, the only way Peter's getting up out of the water is by the hand of Jesus. By the hand of Jesus. You know, sadly what we try to do is this, is that when we're walking towards Jesus in victory and we fail, one of the first things that we do spiritually in our lives is we turn around and we try to swim back to the boat. That's what we try to do. You know, we try to do it ourselves. Man, if I could just swim back to the boat, I'll be fine. And that we're taking on water, we're nearly drowning, we're you know, over our head, we're frustrated for the next 2 weeks or whatever. Peter didn't try to swim back to the boat. What did Peter do? Jesus helped me, and he took his hand. So when we fail in trying to serve the Lord, the only opportunity for success after failure is to continue on with the Lord.